So, Nan, we were in Park End Pres yesterday evening. Really enjoyed that. Grateful to Owen for allowing us to come and have our evening there. You took up the role of Gen Secretary of the Presbyterian Church of Wales a couple of years ago. But before we get to that, tell us a bit about you, your backstory, something of the landscape of your life.
Yeah. I'll try and be as quick as possible. But by the time I'm 53, there's a lot to say, really. But I was brought up in Waenfawr, in quite a rural village in North Wales. Parents, chapel people, but little faith. I'm hesitant these days to say no faith, but little faith. Sunday school was important, but teaching was something that wasn't there really. I came to faith when I was 14. And it was through the ministry, actually, of Arfon Jones and the Cyngor Ysgolion Sul, the Lithoswi. I made a commitment, but actually there wasn't much, nurturing and discipleship happening. So there were barren years, the first decade most probably. But things happened, and it was obvious that the Lord had, his hand, and he was gracious towards me. So I spent some time away. I spent a year in Lesotho in Southern Africa because I was a little bit of a rebel as well. Didn't want to go to university really. So I went to Lesotho because it was the furthest place you could go. It was, I was supposed to go to Bangor, but decided to go to Maseru in Southern Africa. And after that, I came back spiritual-wise, barren years, as I say. And then started actually working for the Presbyterian Church of Wales. And actually, my heart was getting warmer, but something quite amazing happened. In 1993, I'd asked, can I go and have an experience in another church? I'd like, another international experience. And I actually went to India for 6 months and saw the Holy Spirit at work and saw a church that there was constant revival. And it's, I get a message from India every day. And there's part of me that always stays behind. That's in Mizoram in northeast India. 97%, that state, 97% are Christian. And half of the population worship every Sunday. It's just unbelievable.
So that's a bit about your journey to that point, obviously shaped by experiences in Lesotho and North India. You're married to Hugh. You both share pastoral ministry leadership in the Mould area. And the other part of you that I read up on, which interests me, is your prison chaplaincy. Why did you get involved in that? How did that shape you?
Well, having been ordained together in the year 2000, both Hugh and myself, recognized that I never wanted to be in that position that we were doing two different ministries. We were in it together. We were in leadership together. And even that I carry the name of General Secretary. I wouldn't be able to do anything without, his support. Mm-hmm. And I feel very blessed, And when the kids, because we're also parents, we're parents of adult children, and actually our daughter came here to Vocate, Miriam, to do her internship. So anyway, the kids used to say, the youngest used to say, but Dad, I know you're both ministers, but Dad is the Prime Minister. You are just the helper. And really, in church life, it is still the same. It is still the same. Hugh is the leader there, and I help with leadership. But he is still the Prime Minister.
So Nan, how did you end up in prison?
Well, for 8 years. So most probably it's because of who I am. I needed a little bit of, something else to drive me personally. really, and it was from a selfish perspective, but I was approached and called to go to work as a chaplain in prison. And coming from Waun Fawr and not far from Carnarvon, there's one wing on that prison that they call it Carnarvon Green. Well, it's actually called Valentine's Green, but they were all, kids that, had been in school with me and so on. So it was, and those were certainly formative years. And boy, didn't we face, darkness and so.
So listen, given the various ways in which cultures and contexts have shaped you and influenced you over the years, you come into your role, having been assistant director, I think, of ministries for the Presbyterian Church of Wales, into the post, significant strategic post, general secretary of the movement. And, I mean, let's not beat about the bush. The mainline denominations in Wales have been really struggling for many, many years. So when you took up that post, and we're all projecting, aren't we, into the future, wondering what the future is going to look like. When you arrived in post, what was your assessment of the spiritual health of the Presbyterian Church?
First of all, I would say I hold very lightly to everything, including leadership. I hold dearly unto Jesus himself. And that was certainly, and when it comes to the church, first of all, I need to say I love the church, and I love the church even in its old age. I love the church even that we are, when you think of the church as the bride of Christ, I always think, we have been a very dirty bride. We have been flirting along the way. We've been, we haven't come beautifully prepared for the groom. And I honestly think that when I think of the Presbyterian Church of Wales, that the Lord has yet got things that will happen within the church. He will still bless the church. And you were in Park End, or when's here today. You saw what is possible. And there's things that happen within the church, of course, that really, really breaks my heart. But it is still, and even the Presbyterian Church today, and the decline in membership, but we've got to rethink. And it's a matter of, I look at it as this possibility within the Presbyterian Church of Wales, and that's what we are working with, is to see a rebirth and to see new opportunities. And it's a matter of we need to go with them, because people like my parents, they still go on a Sunday, although that they're not quite sure what they believe in. Sounds ridiculous. And they come from a cultural perspective. We still have 490 churches. We still have a place in a table when you think about even influencing government and so on. We still have that place, and we still need to come. But what we need within the church, certainly, is just to glorify Jesus himself. And to get people to realize it's not about holding dearly to your building, because our buildings, we spend 52% of our income on buildings, only 48% on ministry and mission. How dare we? How dare we? And the church buildings that we have, they're all declining and so on and so on. But you've got to raise above that, and not hold on. And it's that holding lightly to everything and holding firmly to Jesus himself, and praying that the Holy Spirit will once again move.
Hey, that's good. That's good to hear all of that. So would you describe yourself as an optimist about the future for the Presbyterian Church in Wales? Are you a pessimist, or are you, are you a realist? If you were to be boxed into one of those, optimist, pessimist, or realist, is Nan Powell-Davies?
Oh, come on. I'm a little bit of everything, aren't I? I would like to say that, that I'm optimistic. Of course, I would like to be optimistic. But I think I'm a mixture of being optimistic and realistic. I'm very, very aware of the situation that we are in. I am very, very aware that we also have a lot of resources. And I don't want to be that General Secretary that sits in an office somewhere signing checks for other people to spend the money. You know, we've got resources, and we've got to be very, very wise in the next few years. We can blow it all in a matter of 4 or 5 years, or we can really prepare. And I think it's a matter of discernment. And I was in a meeting yesterday morning, and I was saying, I'm fed up of this reporting on what we've done. In any meeting, we need now to think and to plan for the future. And to plan with an expectant heart, to plan in partnership, to plan knowing that Jesus is Lord. So, yeah.
Hey, that's good. I'd like to talk to you more, but we need to move on to Julian Richards and New Wine. Let's give Nan Powell-Davies a thank you.
Thank you.
Leave it there. Great.